In this video, we're going to take a look at filtering in Excel 2016, and specifically we're going to look at filtering columns of numbers. There's another video that I've created that explains how to do columns of text, so we'll look at numbers in this one. And the ID number isn't really something we'd want to filter on, so we're going to be filtering on the credits column right here. So first thing you want to do is, this is data, and it's a table. It's not an official Excel table, but it's a general table with rows and columns. And in a table, all of the data on one row is related to the rest of the data on that row, and you have to keep it all together. So let's go to the credits column. Actually, it doesn't matter where we start. When we do this, just select one cell. Don't select multiple cells. And turn on filtering. This is on the data tab in the sort and filter group, so turn on filtering. And what we see immediately is we see these little down arrows, and that's how you do filtering. So I want to do filtering on the credits column, so I have to go to the down arrow next to the word credits. And now with numbers, you get the same check boxes here that you had with text. And in this case, there's a reasonable number, but in general, don't use checkboxes when you're dealing with number filters. Instead, go here and choose the rules. We can do equals or not equals, greater than or equal to, less than or equal to, between, a couple of others, and then a custom filter. So we're going to start off with something really simple. We're going to start off with a filter that will just give us the freshmen, and freshmen are students with less than 30 credits. As soon as they hit 30, they become a sophomore. So less than, and we get this dialog box here for a custom autofilter, and we have to provide the 30. Less than is there because we selected that just a few seconds ago. And if you don't need a second rule, just leave that blank and nothing will happen. This will just basically be ignored. And then click on OK. And we get 3 people that are freshmen. Again, we see the funnel here to know that the filter's been applied. We see blue numbers over here and some missing numbers. And down here it tells us that we selected 3 records. Okay, let's clear that. And let's try selecting the seniors. So let's go down here and go to number filters. And seniors are ones that have 90 or more. So we need to do greater than or equal to 90. So let's type in a 90 in here this time. And again, there's no second part to the rule, so just click on OK. And down at the bottom it tells us we got 8 records. And we got blue numbers over here, and we've got a funnel up here. And also notice we've got 4 records in there that are exactly 90 credits. And they would have been missed if we had said greater than 90 instead of greater than or equal to 90. Probably the most common mistake when doing filtering like this is messing up on the endpoints and including an endpoint that you're not supposed to, or missing an endpoint that you are supposed to include. Let's go ahead and clear that. And this time let's do one that's a little more interesting. Let's do the sophomores. And sophomores, we need 2 rules. On the bottom end they have to be 30 or more, and on the top end they have to be less than 60. So let's go here and go to number filters, and you might think between is what we want here. We'll try between, but we're going to see there's a little problem. Greater than or equal to 30. As soon as you hit 30, you're a sophomore. But on this end, if I put 60 in here, it will include the 60, and 60 is not a sophomore anymore. 60 is a junior. I could put 59 in here. All of my numbers are whole numbers, but and so this will work in this case. If I had numbers that were fractions, then this would not catch any fractions that were greater than 59 but less than 60. So when you do between in Excel, it always includes both endpoints. So it says greater than or equal to on this end, and it says less than or equal to on this end. And I'm going to say just I want is less than, and then I'm going to put in the number 60. And click on OK. And it gives me all of the sophomores. It looks like we've got quite a few. It says 22. And if we go up here and just do an A to Z sort, we can see we got 30 on the low end and we've got 57 on the high end. So everybody in this range here is definitely a sophomore. Okay, let's clear this filter and let's try one more filter. Let's say that for some reason I want to pick out the freshmen and the seniors. Okay, so I remember we had 3 freshmen and I think we had 8 seniors, and I want both of them. So that's going to be determined by credits. So let's go to credits here and tell it that we want to do a number filter, and we're going to have to do a custom filter here. Okay, well, the freshman rule is less than 30, and the senior rule is greater than or equal to 90. Okay, and if I click on OK, I get nothing. Okay, now let's go back here and go to our number filters and custom filter and see if that still shows up for us. It does. And here's the problem. If you have 2 rules, there's 2 ways to interpret that. I could want both of them to be true before I select a record, or I could want just one of them to be true. If this is true, select a record. If it's not, try this one. If this is true, select a record. Okay? And the default here is for both conditions to be true. And that's what the word and means. And means both. So it's checking to see if the number is less than 30. So let's say somebody has 20 credits. This part will be true, but then it also says that they have to be greater than or equal to 90, and there is no number that is both on the low side of 30 and the high side of 90 at the same time. So what we want here is we want either the freshman rule to work or we want the senior rule to work. And because we want either, we have to use the word or here in between. Now let's reapply the rule with or in there instead. And now it does work correctly. We had 3 freshmen, we had 8 seniors, and we should get 11 for the result, and we do. And we can make this a little more obvious if we just do an A to Z sort on the credits column, and we can see those are our freshmen, and we can see those are our seniors, and those are exactly the rows that we want. So when you're applying multiple rules, and by the way, you can apply multiple filters here to other columns at the same time too. So if I just wanted the accounting freshmen and seniors, I could go here and just turn off everything except accounting and turn that on, and I've filtered it even more. So the more filters you have on here, the fewer number of records you're going to get for hits. And just be careful when you're doing on the same column, if you're doing 2 rules, make sure that you pay careful attention to whether you want both of those rules to be true or just one of those rules to be true, and make sure you select the appropriate value here, and or. Now you can do most of the filtering that you want to do in Excel just using, this is called the Autofilter. It just says filter up here, but they call that the Autofilter in Excel. There are some things that you cannot do though. If we go back here one more time and take a look at our number filters and go to the custom filter, you see that we are limited to 2 rules here. There's no option here to add another rule. We're stuck with 2. Most of the time that works, but I'll give you a quick example of where it would not work. If we were selecting seniors, we'd need this rule right here. And sophomores requires 2 rules, and we've only got room, so that'd be a total of 3, and we've only got room to do 2 rules here. So if you want to do more than 2 rules on a given column like that, Autofilter is not going to work. Fortunately, there's another way to do that. That's the advanced filter up here, and we'll cover that in another video. With the advanced filter, you can do absolutely any kind of filtering that you want to do. So that takes care of the Autofilter feature of Excel 2016.